everybody, it's Vicky at Prism Arts and I'm here to do a physical warm-up with you. And I've brought Kate along with me, who's going to help to show the exercises. So I'm going to do everything from standing and Kate's going to do them from sitting, because you can warm up in either of these positions, whichever's best for you. And if you remember, you know your own bodies, okay? So you know what your bodies can do and what they can't do. So you need to take responsibility for that and just do what you know is your limit, okay? So we're going to start by looking at our position. So we're going to start with our feet hip width apart, okay? And you're going to imagine that piece of string coming out of the top of your head that's pulling you up nice and tall, and your arms are just by your side. And it's the same on the chair. You can sit yourself up nice and tall and just loosen your arms just by the side of you. Okay, good. Right, so we're going to start with our shoulders, okay? And all we're going to do is we're going to take our shoulders round in a nice big circle. You can go forwards or backwards, whichever way you want to go. And just make sure that you're pushing them right up to your ears and you're making as big a circle as you can. Good. And we're going to take it the other way, so whichever way you were going, just reverse it. Take it in the opposite direction. Good. And then push your shoulders right up to your ears as far as they can go. And then drop them. And then push them up. And then drop them. Good. This time we're going to push them up. And we're just going to do a little half drop and then a full drop. And again, push them up. And a half drop and a full drop. And one more time. Push them up and a half drop and a full drop. Okay, good. So we're going to try now to walk our shoulders up to our ears in a step of 4. Okay, so you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then drop them. Okay, so we'll all try together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then drop. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then drop. And now you're going to start with the other shoulder that you didn't start with last time, and you're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then drop, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then drop. Good. So now we're going to warm up our hands, fingers, wrists and arms, okay? So we're going to start by warming up our fingers, and we're going to do that by playing the piano. So you're going to just wiggle your fingers like they're on a piano keyboard. Good. And then you're going to, like you're playing the bongos, okay, with your wrists, very fast. Good. And then we have to play guitar, but we've got to do it two-handed because it's a special imaginary guitar, okay? And you play it two-handed like this. Good. And back to the piano. And the bongos, and the two-handed guitar. Brilliant. And then can you just carefully circle your wrists? Some nice big circles. And then take it the other way. Beautiful. And then you're going to move your arm into moving your elbows in circles, and then the other way, and then finally can you take that into moving your arms in big circles. Now I'm moving backwards at the moment, so I'm going to change and bring my arms forward. And now I know that you all know what's coming next, because this is the fun part that we all like to try and do, and that is we're going to start by trying to take one arm forward and one arm back. Brilliant, Kate, well done. And then can you do it the other way? So you're doing it in the opposite direction. Hope you've all been practicing. Oh no. Good, well done. Okay, so we're going to move on to trying to isolate our chest and our hips now. Those of you who are doing standing like me, you shouldn't have a problem doing this. People who are attempting it sitting, if you watch Kate, and I will hand over to Kate to explain how she's doing it, particularly on the hips, because that's quite a tricky way to do it. It's hard to move your hips when you're sitting down. So those of you who are seating, you need to shuffle yourself forward just on your chair. And those of you who are standing and following me, if you can find your neutral position again, so that's your feet hip width apart, standing up nice and tall. Okay, and then all you're going to do is you're going to try and just push your chest forward and then back to the centre. And then you're going to try and push it back and then back to the centre. And then to one side and back to the centre. And then to the other side and then back to the centre. So I'm just going to turn sideways so that you can see what those movements are. Okay, so you're taking it forward and then back to the centre and then back and back to the centre and then to one side and back to the centre and then to the other side and back to the centre. And then you're going to try to do that in a circle. So take it forward, to one side, to the back, to the other side, and then see if you can move your chest in a circle. It's quite tricky, this exercise. It takes a lot of practice. And it's like a bit of body popping. And then see if you can move it in the other way. Good. Okay, so we're going to move on to hips now. Okay, so find that neutral position again. And I will hand over, once I've explained through this, to Kate so that you can see what Kate's doing from the seated position. Okay, so we'll work through the hips first in a standing position, and then Kate will do it from a seated position. Okay, so if you're standing, you're just going to try and push your hips forward and then back to the centre, and then take them back and then back to the centre, then to one side and back to the centre, and then to the other side and then back to the centre. Okay, so from this position you're taking your hips forward, to one side, to the back, to the other side, and then you can start to move those round in a circle. So I'm just going to keep doing this in a circle while Kate shows you how to do that seated.
So if you're sitting down, what I'd like you to do is find where your hips are and put your hands on your hips so you know what you're working with, and try and feel if you can lift one hip just a little tiny bit. Use those muscles that are in your bum and see if you can say hello. And give one hip a little lift, and then at the other side, hello, one hip a little lift. And if you can backwards very slightly, go backwards so you're sitting up a little bit more, a little bit higher, and then you've got all three. So you're saying hello, hello, and sitting up a little bit higher. And we're going to try and do that in a circle. Hello, hello, and sitting up a little bit higher. And see if you can do that quickly, making a circle. Ooh, ooh. And keep going.
So what I've done there is I've just started to change the direction of my hips for those of you who are standing, and then you're going to see if you can make that circle a little bit bigger and then a little bit bigger, and then you're going to try to use your body as a momentum to make that circle with your hips really big. Keep it really big, go the other way again. And then bring it a little bit smaller, and a little bit smaller, and then stop. Good. Great. So now we're going to move on to our legs and our ankles. Those of you who are standing like me, you might find it useful to have something to support yourself. So I've got a chair here, but a table or a wall, anything that can support you is useful. Anyone who's sitting like Kate, you might find that shuffling a little bit further forward on your seat helps you to be able to move better. So if you're standing, you're going to support yourself and you're going to lift your leg up into a right angle as best you can. If you're seating, your leg's already sat in a right angle if you look at Kate anyway, and all we're going to do is we're just going to circle our ankle. So you're just going to circle it one way, and then you're going to take it the other way. And then very gently, you're just going to swing your knee backwards and forward. Our knees are a hinge joint, so they're not made to go around in circles, they're just made to go backwards and forwards. And then with your hip, because that's a ball joint, you can swing that round in a circle, so you're going to try and move that just round to the side so that you can open that up. And then when you've done that, just give your leg a little bit of a shake. And then I'm just going to turn around so I can show you the other leg, and Kate will work on her other leg. So again, it's the right angle, and you're just going to circle that ankle, and then take it round the other direction. And then gently swing your knee backwards and forwards. And then again, open up your hip out to the side. And then give it a little shake, and that's your legs done. So the final part of our bodies that we need to warm up is our face and our neck. And we leave those till last because our necks are a really delicate part of our body. So we're going to start by warming our face up. So if you just get your positions right again, so you need to find that neutral position to stand in, be sat nice and tall. And then all you're going to do is you're going to open your face really wide like this. And then you're going to screw it up really small. And then really wide. And really small. And wide and small. And wide and small. Okay, so this time when we do a really wide face, we're going to make our bodies as wide as we can as well. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, really wide. And then again, we make really small faces. We're going to make our bodies really small too. Ready? 1, 2, 3, really small. And really wide. And really small. And wide. And small. And then just gently uncurl yourself back up into your neutral position. So we're going to look at our necks now. And all we're going to do is we're just going to look to one side, and then we'll look back to the front. And then you're going to look to the other side, and then you're going to look back to the front. Drop your chin down onto your chest and look down, and then back up to the front. This time you're going to open your mouth because we're going to protect the muscles in the back of our neck. So you open your mouth and look up. And back to the centre. Good. Look over one shoulder, and this time you're going to extend it. So you're going to push your body right into that stretch. And then back to the centre. And then to the other side. And then push your body into that. And then back to the centre. Drop your chin onto your chest and look down. And then push your body into that. Look like you're really trying to look at something on the floor. And then back to the centre. Open your mouth and look up. And then push your body up into that look like you're truly trying to look at something on the ceiling. And then back to the centre. And then finally, you're just going to look over to one shoulder. Drop your chin down and very gently just roll your chin across the front of your chest and up to the other side. And then do the same on the way back. Back to the other side. Look up and then back to the centre, and you're done. So we've warmed up most of the parts of our body now. So these next couple of exercises are just about really getting our bodies moving. This exercise in particular focuses on our spines. And our spines, again, like our necks, they're very, very delicate parts of our body, so we have to be really, really careful with them. So you need to move this exercise very, very slowly. Please don't rush it. It can be done equally as well standing as it can sitting, and it's pretty much exactly the same way of doing it. But again, if you're standing, follow me, and if you're sitting, follow Kate. So you've got to think of your head as being quite heavy in this exercise, and what you're going to do is you're just going to drop your chin down onto your chest, and then you're just going to let the weight of your head very slowly start to take you forward. Try and keep your knees nice and loose if you're standing as well. Don't lock them so that you don't pull any muscles. And as your head starts to take you forward, just let your arms hang loose. And go as far as you can. Just have a little hang there. And then very slowly, you're going to start to straighten back up. Your head is going to be the last thing to fall into place. So keep that chin tucked in. And then once you're up, you can lift your head up. And we're going to do it one more time. And this time you should find that you're able to stretch a little bit further down. Okay? So drop your chin onto your chest again. And then let that weight of that head start to take you forward. Nice and slowly. Don't rush it. Keep your knees nice and loose. Let your arms start to flop forward. Down as far as you can. See if you can get your hands to touch the floor this time. Have a little chill there. And then very slowly, you're going to start to bring yourself back up. Remember, your head is the last thing to fall into place on top of your shoulders. And you're done. So this next exercise is about the opening up our shoulder blades, okay? And I like to think that I'm a bit of a Robin Hood when I'm doing this, because it's all about having your bow and your arrow, your imaginary bow and your arrow. So I'm going to turn and face the other way so that you can see from the back what it is that I'm doing. Equally, Kate can do this sitting down, and so you'll get the kind of front option from Kate, okay? So I want you to imagine that in one hand you have got your bow, okay? And your arrow is in the quiver in the middle of your back. So you need to reach your arrow out from your quiver and put it into your bow and pull it back. Now the arm that you've got out to the front is the direction that you're going to move in. Okay, so you're not taking your arm across your body, you're going to take it to the side that it is and move as far round as you can. And when you've got as far as you can go, you need to mark that with your arrow. You make a little arrow sound to go like that. Good. And then don't drop your arm. Keep your arm up and bring it back. Okay? So you need to get another arrow from your back and put it in your bow. And you're going to see if you can get this arrow further than your last one. So again, move in the same direction, and you should be able to get it past where you were. Mark it. Good. And bring it back, and then you can relax that arm down. And then we're going to hold the bow in the other arm. Okay, so it's the same thing. Get the arrow from the middle of your back, put it in your bow, and move in the direction of that arm. Okay, round as far as you could go, and let it go. Mark it with your bow, and then come back. Keep your arm up, don't drop it. Get another bow. No, arrow even. And then move it round. And mark it again. And come back. And hopefully you'll have noticed that your second arrow moved a little bit further than your first. Well done. So, finally, we're going to finish off with a bit of a fun exercise that has a little bit of a kind of rhyming song with it, and it's going to really get you moving, and hopefully by the end of it you'll feel really nicely warmed up. This is a little song called Hello, My Name is Joe. You just, if we start by you copying, so if I do the line and Kate can do the response initially, and then we'll just all sing it together. But if we do it that way, you can learn what the words are. Okay, it goes. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Joe.
My name is Joe.
I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory.
I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory.
One day,
my
boss said to me, he said, Joe.
My boss said to me, he said, Joe.
Are you busy? I said, no.
Are you busy? I said, no.
He said, then push that button with your right hand.
He said, then push that button with your right hand.
So we're going to keep that movement going and then we're going to sing the song together. Okay? We ready?
I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Joe.
My name's Joe.
I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory. One day,
Oh no.
my boss said to me, he said, Joe, are you busy? I said, no. He said, then push that button with your left hand.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Joe.
Okay.
I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory. One day, my boss said to me, he said, Joe, are you busy? I said, no. He said, then push that button with your right foot. Hello. My name is Joe. I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory. One day, my boss said to me, he said, Joe, are you busy? I said, no. He said, then push that button with your left foot. Hello, my name is Joe. I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory. One day, my boss said to me, he said, Joe, are you busy? I said, no. He said, then push that button with your head. Hello, my name is Joe. I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory. One day, my boss said to me, he said, Joe, are you busy? I said, no. He said, then push that button with your tongue.
Oh.
Hello, my name is Joe. I've got a wife and 3 kids and I work in a button factory. One day, my boss said to me, he said, Joe, are you busy? I said, yes. Thank you. Hopefully you found yourselves all nicely warmed up and ready to move on to whatever drama activity it is that you're going to do now. Thanks for joining in. Hope you've had a really good time. Let us know how you've got on and whether you've enjoyed the warm-ups. I'm Vicky.
I'm Kate.
And we are Prism Arts. Oh, hi guys!
Carry on. I've done it now. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
You've got this.
Kate is going to assist me and show us
Just keep going.
Kate is here to assist me. No, I'll stop. Right, just. Okay, like Kate, you might just want to shuffle yourself forward.
I was already shuffled. Sorry.
She was already forward on the chair.
Oh, monkey, monkey, monkey.
You're supposed to look up.
Hang on, I'll do it Okay. No, right.
Just stop!
Just gonna hold this until you.
We shouldn't have stopped. We were doing so well.
It's all my fault. You're gonna hate me now forever.